What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. So for today's episode, I'm just going to be doing a quick little overall of my favorite summer baits to use in lakes, ponds, canals, rivers, whatever you're fishing. So we have 2 topwater and then we have 3 submerged baits. So we'll start with the topwater first. So with the topwater, we got the Whopper plopper. This is a killer bait for first thing in the morning. If you're there right as the sun's coming up, cast along the shoreline. Those fish are going to be up shallow chasing bait, doing their thing, and then throughout the day they're going to be moving deeper. So this is going to be primarily a morning bait. Flip this up above grass, flip it up above rocks, use this little propeller, let that propeller do all the action, and you're going to see some crazy topwater blow-ups on it. I'm promising you guys, you will not regret it. That will work in canals, that will work in lakes and ponds. That bait works anywhere. The second is the frog. Again, first thing in the morning, you can use a frog. I like to, this is a new frog, so me personally, when I get a new frog, is I like to trim all the, I don't know what it's called, the little frillies or whatever. I like to lift it up above, just like this, and then trim it with the bridge of the nose of the frog. And also when you're walking it gives it more of a tighter action, and then you just don't have as long of those, and you may not get as many short strikes or anything like that. So definitely give this a shot. Flip this above grass. If you have any lily pads in your area, obviously that works really good. Any sort of muck. You can even throw this in open water. People think when you're flipping frogs it has to be near reeds or lily pads or any topwater cover or anything. It is best like that, but I've caught plenty of fish in just open water flipping a frog and walking it. I mean, I've done it in 10 feet of water, 15 feet of water, just walking it, open water. There's nothing there. I mean, there's some rocks underneath, but there's no real cover up top. And so give that a shot first thing in the morning, sunrise, so maybe about 8 o'clock, maybe later, depends on how the fish are that day. Now moving on. So what you want later on in the day, when those fish move deeper because the sun heats out water and just gets super warm and they don't want to be in the shallows anymore, you want a big, like 7 to 10 inch worm. And when you use a big 7 to 10 inch worm like this, you can use a size 4 or a size 5/0 hook. And when Texas rig it, obviously use the weight of your choice, whether you want to use a quarter or an 1/8 or you want to go weightless. Just let that thing go all the way down and slow work it. You're going to get those really big bass, those really docile bass that don't want to hit. They're going to hit this bait because they don't want to work hard for their food because it's so warm and they just want to sit there. So when you drag that so slow across their face, it's sitting up and that big tail's barely kicking in the water. They cannot resist it. It entices them too much. They're gonna hit it. I mean, and it's just a matter of if you'll be able to hook them or not, because sometimes they short bite it, but if you can hook them, that usually catches big freaking fish. And everybody knows the crankbait, the deep diving crankbait. Later on in the day, like I said, those fish, they go deep. Sometimes they'll sit right on drop-offs. You'll catch them on from 20 to 50 feet deep. So if you have a really deep diving crankbait, you can either troll it. If you know the area really well and you know how the rocks and everything is submerged, you can just troll right through and probably catch bass doing that. Or you could cast and retrieve it, whatever you're most comfortable with. But a deep diving crankbait, I mean, if it's clear water, you want to use this color. Obviously, if it's more murky water, a chartreuse works really good. Black and blue works really good. It just match the jerkbait to your watercolor. So crankbait, what am I talking about? Match the crankbait to the watercolor, because if it's clear water, you want to use the lighter colors. Murky water, obviously chartreuse, or to make it pop a little bit more, or use black and blue. Last but not least is the jig. This jig is, I love this jig. This is the Trash Master jig, and the reason why I like it is because it's got the little access point right there to where you just twist your bait on, your bait of your choice, whether you're going to be using a craw or you're going to be using a creature bait or a lizard or whatever you love to use while you're jig fishing, whatever trailer you like. Screw that on, and it's instantly weedless. That's why I love this. You don't hang up in rocks as much, you don't hang on weeds as much. Now granted, those fish are going to be a lot deeper, so you want to use a bigger jig. I'd say 3/4 to an ounce, so you can get it all the way down there and just slow roll it. One way I really like to do it as well is you can, because how craws go, like actual crawdads, how they go more so they kick up, then they go. So you could kind of do a pop and then a rip, a pop and then a rip, because it creates that pause. And on that second pause, it's kind of like a reaction of a jerk bait. When you're ripping that bait, and right as you're about to rip, you get that bite. And a lot of times, that's how you get this type of bite. You rip it slowly, then you do one big rip, and that's a lot of times, that first rip entices a fish to hit it, and they'll slam the freaking jig. It's kind of like how you work a jerk bait in a way. Just not as fast, let it sit there. I mean, this bait will work in the ponds as well. Obviously for ponds, use a 1/4 or a 1/2 ounce. You don't need a giant jig for a pond. Going back to the crankbait real fast, if you're gonna be fishing canals or any sort of pond with it, use a square bell, match watercolor, use a square bell anywhere from like 5 to 10 foot diver, because that's usually most ponds. They range anywhere from 5 to 10 feet. So we'll go just a quick view of those again. You got the Whopper plopper, works anywhere, any sort of body of water. Make sure you use it in the morning, it'll shred. You got the frog, if I can catch it. So you got the frog, excellent top water bait. Walk it. Sometimes you have the popping frogs. I like those ones a lot more because me personally, I'm not good at walking the frogs, so I like the ones that pop and kick up water, because it kind of helps me get more bites, because when you pop it and it splashes, those fish hear it, they come up, they hit it. So make sure you use this, and make sure you trim it. You'll get more bites if you trim it. So just lift up like that, match it up, and just trim it right there. Try that anywhere. You could use those in canals as well. I mean, you can use a frog absolutely anywhere. Don't be afraid to try it in open water as well. Then you got the big worm. You can use this shaky head, you can use this Texas rig, you can use this however you want. Now you can use any of these baits anywhere, but you can also, there's also a ton of other baits that work. I mean, drop shots work. You got craws that you can use. You got buzz baits. You got all these different baits. I mean, jerk baits work. Those deep diving jerk baits, those will work during the summer. This is just a quick overview of 5 baits that have worked best for me personally. So if you have your own favorite baits, leave them in the comments, because I would love to try them. I want to learn and continue to experience new fishing tactics and try to open up my book a little bit more to knowledge and just the overall fishing game. So again, you got the crankbait. If you're using it in a canal or a pond, try a square bell, because if you're running this along the bottom, you're gonna get snagged. But if you're in a lake, use a deep diving crankbait, works excellent. And then the jig. If you're in a canal or a pond, make sure you use a 1/4 to a 1/2 ounce. If you are in a lake and those fish are moved off and they're deep, they're like 25 to 40, 50 feet deep, use a 3/4 ounce to a 1 ounce, and I promise you, you will get bit. This was just a really quick overall view. I really hope it helped you guys kind of get an idea. I mean, there are so many other baits that work. So I mean, just give these a shot. But you can also try buzz baits, like I said. I mean, the buzz baits shred. Make sure you have a trailer hook on it, but they shred. You can use drop shots, those shred as well. You can use lipless cranks, those are really good. You can kind of yo-yo them. I like yo-yoing them during the winter, but they work just as well when you yo-yo them during the summer. Because when you cast that out deep and it flutters all the way down into those giant shad balls, and you lift it up above them, and then you let it flutter down right below them like an injured or a dying bait fish, and it goes right below them, and then you lift up again, that's usually when you'll get bit. So I mean, you could try a lipless crankbait as well. You got the blitz blades, those would work. You got so many baits that would work. this was just my 5 that have worked best for me. And so I really hope that helped you guys out. I really hope that you guys can take this knowledge to your body of water, and it'll help you guys catch a lot more fish and better quality fish. I want to say thank you to every single person who has subscribed to my channel. I mean, we've gotten like 50 new subscribers in the last, gosh, like 5 days or something. I mean, that's awesome. It is crazy how quick my channel has grown, and it's still a relatively small channel, but it's growing so quickly. I never thought I'd be at like 650 subs. I thought I would get a couple hundred subs and I would just have fun making fishing videos, and that would be that. But just seeing all of you guys hop on board to my channel and watch my channel, it makes me want to make videos more and more so that I can entertain you guys and hopefully bring new subs to the channel and entertain them. So I want to say thank you to everybody. It's much appreciated. And like I said, I hope this video helped you guys out. And we'll see you guys next time on Southwest Fishing.